here to share their personal Christmas memories with us. I want you to welcome some very special people. Country music artist Irlene Mandrell, comedian Hampton, and country music legend and good friend Larry Gatlin. So glad to have you guys here to talk about Christmas.
Glad to be here, glad to be here.
Irlene, I'm going to start with you because you're the lady.
Thank you.
And besides, these guys, they just don't look as nice as you do. Simple as that. You grew up in a very musical home. You had two older sisters. We all know Barbara and Louise. So I must have to wonder that there was a whole lot going on in your family around Christmas time that involved music. What do you remember as a little girl growing up in the Mandrell house?
Well, we had some really great traditions, and we did, as kids, put on shows for our parents. And I remember, now, Barbara's not a lot older, but when you're a little kid, and, you know, and Louise is close, but they're older than I am. And the only thing I could do back then was skip, and I didn't do that well. So that was my thing for Christmas. We got movies with me half skipping around, and they would play their little instruments, and we'd put on shows.
So you kind of got started early at this whole thing of performing for people. That was pretty apparent. Bone, let me ask you about some traditions. Any in your family that you're passing now on to those coming after you?
Yeah, we had this cool tradition. I'm the oldest. I got a younger brother, a younger sister. And when we was little, we started this tradition that we would all sleep in the same bed Christmas Eve, little twin-sized bed, so we'd all wake up at the same time. It was so cute when we started. When we started, we kind of looked like this. And then 20 years later, we was trying to hang into that tradition, and everybody was 200 plus pounds. We were like, but we got to keep the streak going. Look, man, you're going to fall out the bed, but just get back up again. Get back up again. The Lord still loves you. So we passing that tradition, and then my 8-year-old son looking at me like, Daddy, I'm not doing that with y'all.
You know, the kids are getting smarter than their parents, aren't they?
Yes, very
Gatlin,
much.
I'm almost afraid to ask you, but Larry, I got to go there. Do you have a favorite Christmas memory?
Well, we didn't have a Christmas tree, so we just put Rudy up in the window and let him wear his ball cap, you know. That's Goober Lindsay. I stole that from Goober. Well, you know, we, like Irlene, we sang a lot. We were singing at churches, and we sing at different various civic clubs around town. So my very first Christmas that I remember, Steve was just a baby. I was 3, and he had been born in April before the Christmas. And Dad worked very hard. He was a driller in the oil field. They had no unions. He worked 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. If he was off, that just meant that he wasn't getting paid and the rig wasn't working. So this Christmas, he got to be home with us. And like I say, Steve was just a baby. And Santa Claus brought me a new bicycle. And I looked at it for I looked at it just until I saw the drum over there under that must have cost $1, $2. And I looked at the bicycle for about 35, 40 seconds, maybe a minute, and went over there and banged that drum for the rest of the day. And we have a drummer over there hanging out with musicians.
Yes, we do. That was cold. You know, Irlene is a drummer.
Do you remember that?
Yes, what I meant was drummers are my favorite.
Larry, I think we're done with you. I'll just stick it with Bone and Irlene.
Okay, I'll just go ahead.
Irlene, what was the best Christmas gift you ever got? What was it?
Well, let me go back. I'll tell you the best one I got. But before I was born, our Christmas gift that we got before I was born, that I make my kids here every year so they'll think about how special Christmas is. My mom and dad had been married a couple years and been traveling and finally decided to settle in Texas. And my mom was expecting. And she went into labor on Christmas Eve. And everything was fine, and then all of a sudden, and they didn't have any family in Texas, it was just her and my dad, and all of a sudden, the doctor came out and told Dad that I can't save your wife or your child. There's just nothing I can do. So my dad was praying, and all of a sudden, he'd been in the Navy. Somebody came in and recognized him, called him Arby. And his name's Irby, but he was from Arkansas, so they called him Arby. And Dad didn't recognize him at first, and he goes, my dad was a pharmacist maid. And he was the doctor my dad had served under. And he was in charge of the hospital, and Dad told him the problem, and he says, well, let me see what I can do. And now this is a long time ago. We came back and said, I'll take over, but I want you to assist me like you used to. in the Navy. So Dad also assists. And on Christmas Day, Barbara was born, and my mom survived. So that's our cool Christmas.
Wow. Wow. Whoa. I'm done. Whoa.
Goes over.
I want to know, because you're wearing what looks like a uniform, and I didn't know whether to salute you or just say hello.
Well, I'll tell you about this. When my dad came back from the war, he and Mom got married, and when I was born, he had his, his Marine mean greenies, those Marine uniforms, and I wore that thing around the house till I wore the bottom of it off. And when we came to Nashville and started making a little money, I always had my suits made kind of in that tradition. And look, I was number 296 in the draft in Vietnam. I didn't have to go. So I do not deserve and have not earned the right to do that. These are not like Army buttons or Navy. These are just the American Eagle. But I've been on USO trips, and I do it as to honor my 91-year-old Marine father. But I also always felt a little strange about it. So I went to Washington 2 years ago to do a benefit performance up there. And a friend of mine was up there, and I thought, I'm going to ask this gentleman what he thinks about it. And I told him the story about my dad, and that I was honoring him, and that these were not Army or Navy, Marine, that was just the American Eagle. But I had done USO trips, and I did it to honor him and our veterans and ask for his blessing. And my friend and yours, General Colin Powell, said, Private Gatlin, it's okay. You keep honoring your daddy like that. So I like that military look, and I wear it in honor of our father and all you men and women who have served and are serving. And God bless you all. And that's it. It's true.
That's a great reason to do it. Now, we all know that a Merry Christmas includes food and family and fun, but nothing brings holiday cheer like singing one of your favorite Christmas carols. That is, if you know the lyrics. Our correspondent, Juan Garcia, went undercover, or maybe I should say he went under antlers in downtown Nashville to see if people can really live up to the name Music City.
Juan Garcia here, and today we're going to see who can finish that carol. It's beginning to look a lot
like Christmas
everywhere you go.
Say it glows like a light bulb.
Pulling on them reins. He's gonna find out.
Who's naughty or nice?
All of the other reindeer
used to laugh and call him names.
It's beginning to look a lot
like Christmas.
Better not pout.
Deer season.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rah, 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 rah.
So be good for goodness sake.
Over the fields we go.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Make your spirits fly.
Toys in every now. What's your favorite carol?
I saw Mama get run over by a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I think that was a reminder not everybody has learned the words to the Christmas songs quite yet.